Thanks. This thing is serious. I'm about to build a mantle for that. When I was first notified of winning the Herblock Award, I was in the Denver airport on a layover, drinking naturally, and working on a cartoon real close to deadline. And checking my email on my phone, and I got an email from Marcy saying that I won. All I texted back with was, "Is this real?" It was like my David after Dennis moment. And she called me back right away to assure me that I was neither dreaming or too drunk in the Denver airport. So first and foremost, I want to thank the Herblock Foundation for this. This is pretty incredible, and for bringing us here for this awesome night and giving me this incredible opportunity to pay my rent this year. And I also want to thank the judges. I know Tom Tolles is here tonight. I'm just grateful beyond words, and looking forward to meeting you later. And as Marcy said, this is the first award I ever won, so it's been pretty overwhelming. And a few things I want to say, people I want to thank, and then I promise the cartoonist you know a lot better than me will be up soon. So, my parents, Fred and Becky, are here, and they really did nothing but encourage me from the youngest age to go after this. They didn't even blink when I asked to move back in with them after college. And this was in 2003, before that was a trendy thing to do. Special thanks to my dad in particular for talking me out of the only other career choice I ever had besides cartooning. When I was 4 years old, I wanted to be a garbage man. And I had a little truck that a little garbage truck. I wanted to zip around and pick up people's trash, and my dad wasn't cool with that, but I think looking back, I think that's a pretty honorable profession. There's a lot of job security positions opened up, and maybe not such sound parenting looking back on it. My first collaborators here, my brother, who helped me out with a very short-lived comic that was popular in the Boers household about a team of superheroes called the Z-Men. It was a slightly derivative. And thanks to my partner, Stephanie, who is so supportive and is a sounding board for so much of my bitching that she could get her own award. A few of my editors are here, specifically Brian Stewart and David Halpern of Campus Progress. One of my oldest clients. David was a booster of mine back when no one was really paying attention to my work. And when you don't have a staff job, you have to convince more than one editor that you're worth giving money to. And people like David, who cross my palm with silver and keep my lights on, are really the reason why I'm able to do this for a living. And I guess some of the papers that have dropped me over the years probably deserve thanks too, because nothing has motivated me to draw cartoons more than the threat of almost not being able to draw cartoons. I'm different from previous Herblock winners in that I am, yes, I'm a white guy, but I'm the first one to be in his 20s while balding. So pretty trailblazing of me. And I'm also the first winner not to have a staff job. In fact, the Herblock prize money of $15,000 represents more money than I make every year in for my editorial cartoons, or in Mitt Romney time, 5 minutes. So, but I'm lucky that I can still say that I make a living doing editorial cartoons. Herblock stopped cartooning in 2001, which is about 2 years before I started. Up until that point, I hadn't really paid much attention to editorial cartoons. I was more concerned with long-form work until I had something short that I wanted to say. And in the run-up to the Iraq War in 2003, I started cartooning for my school newspaper. And when I saw the first one in print, I knew from that moment that I was going to have deadlines every week until the day that I died. Not long after that, during the Live with Parents stage that I was mentioning, I was laid off from a job at a local printer's, and I vowed that I was never going to have a job again unless it was the only one that I wanted. So I took my first unemployment check and printed up 500 promotional postcards and got my career underway. So I just want to take this moment to urge Congress to extend unemployment benefits once again to any potential cartoonists out there. For a long time, editorial cartooning was a cush job with benefits, and the future clearly relies on us being innovative and developing time travel technologies back to that era. There are a lot of changes taking place in the field. I work from home and not at an office, which has its positives and its negatives. So this is the nicest thing that I've ever put on. I bought this 3 days ago, and I live in Portland, so this is considered business formal. So cartoonists can't control the economics of what's happening, but we do have a say over what we draw. I did the cartoon that was mentioned on the death of Steve Jobs. That was in my Herbach portfolio, and you can see it in the gallery upstairs. It was by far the most popular thing I've ever done in my entire career. And besides providing me with the opportunity to do an obituary cartoon on him, Steve Jobs also gave the famous advice in address to college students to stay hungry, stay foolish. Not great advice for people working in Foxconn factories building Apple products, but if you're a cartoonist still trying to make a go out of it, it works pretty well. And the reason my Steve Jobs cartoon took off, I think, is that it said something that no one had said up to that point, but that a lot of people were thinking, and it relied on satirizing a sacred cow, 2 religions, and a slew of predictable cartoons to do it. We're now competing against everyone out there on Twitter, people who are doing tumblers and mashups of images that are going up right as news events come out, and cartoonists have to stay sharp, and if we're going to remain pugilists and satirists, we gotta remain a little hungry and a little foolish if we want to be part of the discussion. If we're only willing to coast on cliches, I think that we're only going to see further decline in this field. Editorial cartoonists need to take a cue from Obama, in other words, and evolve. But it's not just incumbent upon cartoonists to embrace what's going on in media and the internet. Websites need to embrace cartoonists and their potential to capture readers and to pay them like they do writers. 2 websites won Pulitzers this year, which was a big deal, Huffington Post and Politico. I think Matt Worker should be here in the audience. He won the Pulitzer. And what do they give you for that, Matt? 10 grand? If you need to borrow some money, hit me up. I got you. But the Politico was given a Pulitzer for publishing Matt Worker's editorial cartoons, and the Huffington Post was given a Pulitzer for republishing Matt's cartoons without permission. No, just kidding. They won for Best Spammy Listicle. Top 5 Super Bowl ads featuring cats and Natalie Portman. And there was actually a few dozen of those, so sifting through them wasn't a small task. They actually had to pay someone, which was a pretty new concept for them. Boss Tweed famously remarked about Thomas Nast's cartoon, "Stop them damn pictures." And if you logged into Facebook recently, you might have said the same thing. Today, the language of the web is increasingly about images. It's memes and macros and tumblers and remixes that get around before Matt Judge can even throw his siren up. And it's cartoons, comics journalism, and infographics that are starting to replace the search engine optimized text that's marring up a lot of websites. Infographics are all the rage these days, and it's kind of the new edgy way to reach readers, Ross Perot tells me. So what's popular now isn't really that different from what Boss Tweed was hollering about. In a sea of text, whether it's a newspaper or a website, images possess a particular power. If they didn't, Ali Ferzat wouldn't have had his hand smashed in Syria, and an Iranian cartoonist just this week wouldn't have been sentenced to 25 lashes for drawing a member of parliament. So if I'm lucky, I'm going to be able to create about half the amount of cartoons that Herbach was able to do. And what I want to remember is that he never wasted his ink on trivial issues. He battled against segregation, communist witch hunts, and power-hungry presidents like Nixon and, pretty much everyone after him. And that's why he remained relevant for a career that lasted over 70 years. And I think if editorial cartoonists can remember that, they can remain vital and indispensable. We often talk about this field in romantic terms, as if it's a grand necessity to a free and just society. It's not. If it was, we'd live in one. But the truth is, people can go through their life without editorial cartoons. I just don't want to let them. I want to stop them and make them laugh at the things they're outraged about and scream at them for the things that they aren't. So I'm gonna stay hungry and stay drawn, but with this check, I'm gonna eat well for a little bit and buy some expensive whiskey. Thanks.